Greetings, intergalactic tin cans and bolt gun fondlers. My name is Lucius, and in today's episode of WarHQ, what we'll be looking at is this epic Armageddon Space Marine force. Now, this is one I've been printing over the last couple of weeks, and she's come up pretty swish. As you can see, there's a squillion vehicles and all the goodness you'd need in a Space Marine force. Now, you might be thinking, hang on, you don't like Imperium armies, and I'm like, yeah, I don't, but being, I think, the 6th army I've printed now with the 3D printer, all of them with Xenos and Chaos. So I was like, well, you know what? We need to bite the bullet and get an Imperium army. So what better Imperium army than the Marines themselves? And some of the models I found were quite good, actually, like particularly the Marine models themselves and Terminators and some of the tanks. Really well done. Titan is a bit meh, it's a bit polygon for me, but it does the job. And I can always replace it at a later date. But we'll go through that today in this episode. Like we normally do, I'll break down the models themselves, any experiences I had with printing, any problems or issues that I've faced. We'll look at the strengths and weaknesses of these units, and then actually later on at the end of the video, break them down into divisions, and then I'll tell you how I'm thinking of running these as a force itself. So if you like that idea, you like this content, then please subscribe. It takes you a second to do. It means heaps to us here at WarHQ as we continue to grow as a channel. But for now, let's get started. Alright, so what does the Space Marine Army offer you that maybe others don't? Well, first thing they're really good at is they have a strategy rating of 5, which is the highest in the game. So that's D6 plus 5 for their strategy at the beginning of to see who goes first or second. Pretty important. Also, all of their formations have an initiative rating of 1 plus, which means they pretty much auto pass things unless they have blast tokens, and that when they want to activate a unit. The only thing with that is the Imperial Navy have a 2 plus. That's the only difference with that. Now the Space Marines themselves, they've got the "they shall know no fear," which is really important. This makes them better than a lot of troops in a lot of ways, because it takes 2 blast markers to suppress 1 Space Marine unit. Which is massive. That's a really big rule, because blast markers, as anyone who plays this game knows, are pretty much everything in this game. It's how you break units, it's how you suppress units so they can't shoot and fight. So yeah, really cool stuff. And then also Space Marines only count half of their number of blast markers in an assault resolution, rounding down. So yeah, that's pretty cool. And then Space Marine leaders can also take off 2 blast markers instead of 1, which is another massive thing. So they're really good at removing blast markers and really good at recovering from rallies as well. When they rally successfully, they take off the number of markers equal to the amount of bases you have, as opposed to half, which pretty much removes them from having any blast markers if you rally, which is great. And they will rally because they've got a initiative of 1, which makes them really good. Other stuff that they have, which is really cool as well, is all of the troop formations that can have transports, or get them for free. So you get free rhinos basically with everyone, which is really cool. Now, I've been sort of toying up which Space Marine unit I could use. I could either just use the Codex Astartes general list, which is pretty good. Like, it has pretty much all this stuff you can see in front of you. Or I could go for my favorite Space Marine unit. It's always been the Imperial Fists. They're like siege masters, one of the Emperor's favorite units and all that sort of crap. So that's probably a way I'll go. I'll probably go siege master. Imperial Fists with this. Some of these units aren't in the Imperial list on NetEA. I noticed they don't have bikes, and a couple of other things they don't have, but I don't give a shit. I'll use them anyway. And assault marines, sorry. But I want to use those 2 kinds of units. But that's okay. We'll see how we go, and I'll show you the formations that I've got coming up. But for now, we'll have a look at the individual units themselves. All right, first unit we're looking at here is the assault marines. So assault marines are pretty cool. Like Marines, they've got a 4-up save, chainsaw wielding loonies, but they have jetpacks or jump packs, which gives them a 30 centimeter movement, which makes them awesome, and they can jump over terrain and all that kind of goodness. Now, they have a 3 plus close combat, and that's what you're really taking them for. I have options here. I think I can have either a captain or a chaplain, I think it is. Yeah, both pretty good options to have. So they are my assault marines. All right, next unit we have is the tactical marines. Tactical marines, look, they just are what they are. They're pretty good all around. The 4+ armor save as most marines. They got the one missile launcher, which gives them an AP5, AP6. 45cm range isn't shabby though, so not bad. Look, they're pretty much all around good at most things. Yeah, and they've all got Rhino transports. All right, we have our Terminators. Terminators are, well, probably the best infantry units you can get. They have reinforced armor. They have thick rear armor, which means they can't be caught in crossfires. And they also teleport, which is interesting. You can teleport them onto the board, put them anywhere you like, really. So that makes them pretty tough. But to complement this, they've got 2 long-range attacks, AP5, AP6 each, AP5, AT5, sorry, for both those attacks, and they have an extra attack in close combat, which is a macro weapon, which ignores armor. So those things make the Terminators very good, even though expensive. I think I've got provision here to have like a Terminator Sorcerer Lord sort of thing, or a Captain. I've got a couple of different options for leaders, and it's a unit that you can put in Land Raiders if you want, which makes them even better if you want, but that makes it a massively expensive unit, but very powerful too. Okay, rounding out our infantry, we have our bikes. So we have, what I've got is I've got enough to make a unit of just all bikers, or I can substitute 2 attack bikes, which are these little sidecar jobbies with the heavy bolters. So difference is they're super quick. Look, these are the sort of units you want for just rapid, sort of, grab that objective kind of thing. 35cm range, which is massive, hey? Like with a triple move, that's 115 centimeters or 105. Yeah, you can move them in one turn, which is really good. And then the heavy bolter, if you want to have a little bit of support at long range, it's just AP5 weapon at 30 centimeters. Otherwise, they're all just close combat. And the bikes themselves with chainswords have a 3+ close combat, which makes them really good. So if you want to rapidly get in and just whack some soft target at the back or something, or grab an objective, I figure these are really good. Now, first of our vehicles, there's a lot of Rhino hulls in this army, hey, like so many vehicles. But the first one over here on the left, obviously, is just your humble Rhino. Look, it's not good at anything really. Like I've gone through this before with the Emperor's Children army. It's just good at transport and movement. It's got a 30 speed. That's what you take it for. And some small arms fire. But with the Marines, you can take these things over here, which is another Rhino hull, but it's got a twin las cannon mounted on it, so it's a Razorback. And I've fleshed out some of my units with these just to give them a bit of punch. So this gives you an AT4 attack, which is really good. It just boosts up your capacity of these kind of things anyway. Okay, the next 2 Rhino hulls we have of support vehicles is we have the Hunter and we have the Vindicator. So the Hunter itself is quite cool. You've got AT4, AA4+ attack, so you can intersperse these in units to give yourself a little bit of protection against aircraft, which is very, very important. And to go with that, we have the Vindicator as well, which has it has an extra point of armor at 4+. Because of the shield at the front, and it has a demolisher, which is really cool, which is an AP3 AT4 attack, which ignores cover. So that makes them very, very strong. So there are our next 2 vehicles. Okay, more Rhino hulls this time, but this time in the form of the whirlwind. So the whirlwind is our artillery option. So these each have a 1 BP attack. They come in a unit of 4, which is quite strong. And it's indirect fire, and quite a cool looking model with all those missiles. We've got a couple of dreadnoughts here. These are just standard ones with the fists and some guns. There's a few different options you can get I won't go into, but Imperial fists have access to a couple of different ones too, like siege ones and that. So I'll have to find some different weapon combinations if I'm going to go that way. Next up, we have the iconic Land Raider. Tough nut to crack. It's got a 4 armor. It's got reinforced. It's got thick rear armor. Can transport 2 infantry units or 1 Terminator unit. And has 3 attacks, which makes it really good. So 2 times twin las cannons at AT4, and it has twin heavy bolters at AP4 as well. So it's pretty much good at shooting most things, infantry and tanks. the Imperial Guard have access to this beast, and this is our first war engine. It's called the felblade. So it has damage capacity 4 and reinforced armor, which make it pretty hard to kill straight up. But it's its array of weaponry that makes it awesome. You've got 2 accelerator cannons, which are macro weapon 3s at 75 centimeter range, which is cool. You've got 2 lots of quad lasers, so there's 4 attacks at AT4. You've got a demolisher gun, which is an AP3 AT4 ignores cover weapon, and you also have twin heavy bolters, which is AP4. So this thing's a real gunboat, I guess you'd say. Like, it just goes in and just blows the snot out of everything. Yeah, I'm looking forward to using this one in battle. Don't mind the model either. Okay, we've got a super fast scout option here in our land speeders. Now there's a unit of 5 of these. Now the land speeder itself is a scout and a skimmer, which is really handy on the battlefield. 35 centimeter range, so super fast. It's reasonable. It's got like a 4 armor, but the standard ones are armed with multi-melters, which is a macro weapon attack at 5+, which is handy. So if you get into really close and something, you can just melt the hell out of it. But there are a couple of other variations of this too, like the Typhoon and something else. And one is specialized towards tanks, one is specialized towards personnel, and I can switch those out for them if I want. So yeah, there's our land speeders. Now, I've got a unit of 2 of these little suckers, which are Storm Talon gunships. Now, they're a fighter. Now, nothing overly flash about them, but they are good at a couple of things, and that's probably intercepting other aircraft is, I think, what they're really good at. They've got twin assault cannons, so AP4, AT4, AA5 attacks, and then they've got twin heavy bolters, which are AP4, AA5 attacks. So with 2 of these, that'd give you 4 AA attacks at 5+ if you want to go hunting some bigger aircraft, which I think is their real purpose. Probably one of the most iconic and everyone's favorite unit is the Thunderhawk Saturation Bomber, which is a aircraft war engine. Has damage capacity of 2 with reinforced armor. Now it's got a 4+ armor, which makes it pretty hard to take out. So this thing's armed with just a heap of weapons. So it's got battle cannons. So this is an AP4 AT4 attack at 75 centimeters, which is huge. And it's got 4 arrays of twin heavy bolters, which all can do AA and different bits and pieces, good against AP and AT. And it also has bombs, which is a ignores cover 2 BP attack. So this thing can bomb and it can shoot the hell out of things at range, shoot the hell out of things in close range. Pretty decent little thing all around. Alright, that brings us to the big boy of this force. As I said, this model is, look, it's okay. It's not very detailed for the size that it is. It's actually quite a large model, but it's not hugely detailed, but that's okay. It does the job. Reaver Titan is a cool little device. It's got 2 turbo laser destructors. So each one of these has 4 attacks. That's 8 attacks at AP5 or AT3. So you could just decimate entire tank companies with this thing. And then it has a rocket launcher, which is a 3 BP attack at 60 centimeters, which is really decent as well. It has a damage capacity of 6 fearless, reinforced armor, 4 void shields. So it's a straight up sort of Titan. It's not the best one in the game, but it's definitely usable and decent. Yeah, and that's why I've included it in this force. Alright, so what I've done here is I've broken these down into the units as I'm going to use them, or how I envision it anyway. You can see over here the main 2 tactical units, this one and this one. So what I've got is the 6 tactical marines, and they can have either a captain or a librarian. They're supported. They've got 3 rhino transports, and they also have 2 Razorbacks each, just for an extra bit of anti-tank punch. And there's 2 mirror units of those there, which is cool. You've got your Terminator squad down here, so they're only come in 4, so you can either choose the librarian or the captain. So there's options there. You've got your assault squad over here on the end. Same thing, I think it comes in a group of 4. You can either choose a captain or a chaplain. Your bike riders over here, as I was saying before with this one, they come in groups, I think it's 5. And what you can do there is I can either go add attack bikes or just have them all as normal bikes as well. So then moving on to the vehicles, here's a squad here of Vindicators. So we've got 6 Vindicators with 1 Hunter. That's a squad. We have 4 whirlwinds with 1 hunter backing it up. It's another squad. I thought I'd just give it a bit of extra chance, with its break. We've got a squad of 5 of these land speeders over here. Don't know what to do with the dreadnoughts, but they can be added into things. It's just their movement, really, which hinders them. Now, you've got a unit of 4 land raiders over here, so that's one unit in itself. You've got your felblade. You've got your 2 talons, your aircraft. You've got your Thunderhawk. And you have your Titan himself. Now, I also have a drop pod up the back there, which I could use if I wanted to. I could use it as to drop in one of the tactical units or something else, you know what I mean? Terminators or something, or I think even bikes. So I'd have to look into it. I think I can use vehicles. But that's how I envision this force looking. If you've got any comments, please leave them down below of what you think I've missed something, or maybe I could use a different combination. Because, I mean, these can be all mixed around between each other. To make them even more effective, I guess, in combat. But I'm going to experiment a bit. I haven't had a game with these guys yet. It's one team. I've only really just printed it. We're going to have a big gaming session soon with Epic Armageddon. Looking forward to that. We're just painting up forces at the moment. So this one, well, if I do Imperial Fist, it's going to be easy, isn't it? It's all yellow. So that's pretty cool. One thing I will say I didn't mention before is, like the other ones, these have all been printed on the Frozen Sonic Mini 4K. So if you want to achieve similar results to what I've done here, then think about that as a printer for you. I'm not saying you have to use that one, but it is quite good at the moment. It's the duck's nuts. So I hope you've enjoyed this content today. Please like, comment, share, all those things. Subscribe, please. If you got this far, you're a complete legend. Consider Patreon. We're making lots of this kind of content. If you like Epic Armageddon or any of the other specialist games that we cover, please consider becoming a Patreon. Links below. But for now, my name is Lucius. This is WarHQ, and we are signing out.